Good morning. Today is 9/30, 2017. Date New Zealand is 10/1/2017. In front of me, you can see I have a map of Google Earth, and we're just going to go over the quakes yesterday that were from where we left off until midnight. We start with a 2.5 and a 2.9. 2.9 was down here near Taranaki Bight. We had a 2.1 and then a 2.2 at 79 kilometers in depth. You can tell it was right over here in the middle of Cook Strait. Our next quake was a 3.3. I think I need to turn that little thing off. And this was all the way out here by Bennett Knoll. So let's look down here. This is something fun I like to do. And back up we go. Our next quake was a 2.6 and it was 75 kilometers in depth. This was also over here in the middle of Cook Strait. Next quake was a 2.5 and then we had a 2.1 at 111 kilometers in depth. This was over here in Tasman Bay. You can tell we have houses and community over here. And let's look right over in here. You can tell we have some wood here. We also have oil in here. We'll go land right here so we can all look at it. You can see it here and over in here. Oops. I believe that is New Zealand Oil Company. And we had our quake right here. Next quake was a 1.3 that was followed by a 2.2 and then a 2.4, 80 kilometers in depth. This is over here towards the end of the North Island. And this is where some deforestation is going on. Next quake was a 5.2 and it was 24 kilometers in depth. It was off the end of North Island near the East Coast Ridge. East Cape Ridge, sorry. Then there was a 4.3. Excuse me, I have a cold, you guys. There was a 4.3 and it was 40 kilometers in depth. It was deleted, but it was down here near the Cook Strait. Next quake was a 1.7 and it was 92 kilometers in depth. This was back over here towards Tasman Bay as well. This is Mapawa and Redwood Valley, and then Upper Mater. The next quake was a 1.9. It was 72 kilometers in depth. And it was over here near Portage. I can't pronounce that. Kiri Bay. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. The next quake was a 1.8 and it was 118 kilometers in depth. This quake was here. This is near Pater. So we can get a view of the area. And note we have rivers that run through here as well. Next quake was a 1.7 and it was 104 kilometers in depth. This one is over here near Lake Taupo and Tauranga. Next quake was a 1.7 followed by a 2.7 followed by a 1.7 followed by 1.3, which was followed by a 2.1 that was 70 kilometers in depth. And this is over here. Near Rangitoto Katetanga. Eventually I'll get these names right. That is Greville Harbor. Next quake was a 2.1 followed by a 1.4, which was followed by a 1.6 that was 50 kilometers in depth, followed by a 2.1, and then followed by a 2.2, 119 kilometers in depth. This is over here near Kenneth. And the last quake was a 1.4, and then we start October 1st, 2017. First quake was a 2.2, followed by a 1.9, followed by a 2.0, which was followed by a 2.1 that was 60 kilometers in depth. This is also back over near the South Taranaki Bight and the Cook Strait. The next quake was a 2.9. It was 171 kilometers in depth. Oops, let me get back down here. This quake was near Tepuke, Bay of Plenty. Very hilly. Next quake was a 2.1. It was followed by a 1.9, 68 kilometers in depth, then a 1.0, a 1.8, a 2.0, and then a 1.5 that was 58 kilometers in depth. This was near Matawi. Next quake was a 2.1. It was followed by a 2.2 and then a 2.1 that was 112 kilometers in depth. This is Kangroa. And here is where they do deforestation. That's for the wood mills to make paper and other really neat items. Next quake was a 2.0. It was 53 kilometers in depth. This is over here near Marlborough. This is agricultural over here. And you can see we have river area that runs through here. Next quake is a 1.8. It was 60 kilometers in depth. And the next was a 1.9, 126 kilometers in depth. This was back over here near Tekoroa Forest. And that's a geothermal plant. And the last quake was a 1.7. Okay, guys, tune in to DutchSinse for your update. Thank you for being here. Much love, you guys, and I will talk to you guys later.